Hi guys, I'm Buzwe, and I'll be doing a presentation on AR Foundation using Unity and Vuforia. Cool, let me just start sharing my screen. Cool, so there are a few things that you need to download. If you've just joined, there's some links in the chat for Vuforia. You need to download the SDK for Unity. But first you need to sign up, create a profile. So Vuforia is a paid subscription. You have to pay for it, but there is a free account that you use for developers and also students. So you could just use that. And then sure. And then also the other application you need to have or download is Unity. So I advise you download the latest version of Unity. If you don't have it, please do.
Okay. Hey, Buzwe, just a quick one.
Sure.
Would it be the latest version, or is it like the LTS version?
The latest stable version.
Stable, so LTS.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Sure.
Okay, and then obviously just with support, okay, I'm using an Apple device, so I'll be using iOS build support. So if people are using Android, should they use Android build support then?
When you say Android, are you talking about Android Studio?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that like right now I'm actually just trying to add it onto my machine. So right now, obviously, I'll try and test it on my iPhone, which would be to actually just So obviously, I think for Windows, one person's actually even asked the same question. Was like, if you're going to be building for Windows, that's an option. But I suppose if you're going to be building for like your phone, presumably, so most of the people here should be iOS or Android.
Android, yeah. So the application I'm going to build, I'm not actually gonna build it for any specific platform. I'm actually just gonna build it for your desktop, so you could try it on your desktop using your webcam.
Okay, all right,
cool.
So then that would be like Windows support then.
Yeah, Windows support, but also on Mac, because you'll be building it on Unity, natively on Unity.
Okay. Cool. Okay, but then again, just to get clarification, obviously for the tutorial, even if you don't have it installed, you'll just be able to show us on screen, right?
Yeah, I will be able to show, yes.
All right, thanks, man.
Cool. Sure. So let me start by showing you how to create a project. So once you have your Unity installed, this is your Unity Hub screen. And then depending on how many versions of Unity you have installed, it'll ask you right over here. It'll ask you which version you want to use. So for me, I'm using an older version of Unity from 2019. Reason being, my Vuforia application isn't working quite well on my other version. Cool. And then so you're going to be creating a 3D application. And then you're going to give it a name and then give it a location. So for this presentation, I've already created a project so that we don't have to waste any time waiting for the application to run or to start up. Cool. Can you guys all see my screen?
Yeah, I can. Just having to verify for the rest. Right now it's just black. Okay, so I can see Unity right now.
Cool. Can everybody see?
Yes, we can see.
Sure.
Yeah, we can.
Cool. So if I'm following correctly right now, everyone should have, if you're following me, you would have installed Vuforia and you would have installed Unity onto your machine. So once you've installed Vuforia, you're gonna go to package manager, and then you're gonna search for it. Cool. And then you're going to install it. Okay, once you've installed it, let's go to.
Okay. I think a quick question. What's the purpose of Euphoria? As in, can't I just use Unity? What's the story behind that? Hey, Buzwe, you still there?
I don't think he's aware, but his mic is on mute. So, oh, sorry, guys. My bad.
No
Sorry.
stress.
I was just saying that Vuforia, what Vuforia is, it's a augmented reality software development kit for mobile devices. So what it does, it enables you to create AR applications, and how it works, it uses computer vision technology to recognize and to track images and 3D objects.
Okay.
Cool. Sure. Cool. Once you have it installed, you're gonna need to add a Vuforia AR camera, and then delete your main camera on your scene.
Okay. All right. Just to backtrack, what is the purpose of the cameras and what exactly do they do?
Okay, so typically when you open a scene or open an application or create an application on Unity, you will always be presented with two things. It'll be your directional light and your main camera. So the main camera would be used to view your scene typically. So now once, for example, for now, since that we've installed Vuforia, we are using its camera. So it's an AR camera, which is going to pick up the AR assets and 3D objects we will be using.
No stress. Okay.
Cool. So once you've added that onto your scene, you're gonna go into your inspector on your right, and then you'll see at the bottom it says Vuforia behavior script, and then you'll see there it says world center mode, and then it says open Vuforia config.
Okay.
You see there, and then it tells you about downloading Vuforia engine 9.17 and so forth. And then what you need to do is click on add license. So let me just share my screen so you guys can see. So when I say add license, it takes me to the previous screen of the Vuforia engine. So it wants me to sign up or get a developer license. So if you guys have already signed up, has anybody signed up?
Yeah, signed up on my side.
Okay, so once you've signed up, you're gonna go into license manager, and then you're gonna say get license. So then create or name your license. So for today, I'm gonna call it AT Hangouts _ tick. Cool. Sure. So that's my license right there. So this code right here is what I'm going to copy into my Unity under Vuforia. Let me just go back to that.
So just get an idea. Right now I'm just in develop. So you're saying so you have to tap on develop, and then often you'll get into license manager, and then you get the development key. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Cool. And then just give it a name.
Give it a name. Cool. And then let me go back to Unity. So once you've gone back to Unity, you added, did you guys see what I did?
Yeah. Okay,
I added it here.
Okay. So
Sure.
you're saying this is after just like downloading Unity and the Vuforia plugin from the Unity package manager.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. And then let me just switch back to the browser. I need to show you something else. Cool. And then you're gonna go to Target Manager. Are you guys following?
Yeah. Okay, so what's the purpose of the target manager?
So the Target Manager is basically your database for all the images or objects you'll be using. So
Okay.
for example, here, when I say new database, it gives me three different types of databases or where I can store my database. So
Okay.
device is where I store it locally, where I download the database or the images. I download them up on my PC. Cloud is where it's it's cloud-based, as it says. And then ViewMark is also semi-cloud and also native on your device.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna give it a name. I'm gonna say Hangouts. And then create. Cool. You see my database has been created. I'm gonna select it. And then I'm gonna say add target. You see it gives me 4 different types of targets. It says a single image, cubic, cylinder, 3D object. So depending on which type of object I'm looking to track, I need to select that specific type. So for today's exercise, I'm going to be using a single image and I'm going to browse for an image. So I'm going to be using the African Techno logo. And then when it comes to width, I'm going to say 1. So you could make this any number from 1 to 10. I usually just use 1. And then it'll upload. So depending on my image quality, it'll give it a rating. So this rating is 1 to 5. So my image is quite good. So I've been given a rating of 5. Once this is done, I download my database. So us right now, we're working on Unity. So we're going to be downloading for Unity. If you are working on Android Studio, Xcode, or Visual Studio, then you could download for those platforms too. Is everybody still following?
Yeah. So I'm just trying to understand as in what would be the reason to actually use it in like Android Studio compared to actually using Unity? As in, I'm just a bit confused on that part.
So when you using it on Android Studio, it's when you developing perhaps like an Android application, and you'd be using Vuforia as one of your I don't know, native plugins or something like that, versus
Okay.
where you're developing an AR application on Unity.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Is everybody up to speed? Everyone fine?
Yeah. I'm not too sure, as in I'm the one just asking all the silly questions. So
Cool, silly questions. Cool. So I'll be jumping into Unity right now. Cool. So what I need to do is I need to add the database that I just downloaded into my Unity. So I just need to drag and drop. Maybe. Can you guys see my scene? Yeah, cool. Just drag this. Cool. So this is my database with my single image. And I'm importing it. Cool. Sure. So if you guys notice, my database has been added. Hangouts.
Okay.
Cool. So now we'll move on to the fun part. So I'm going to be creating an image target. Let me just zoom into my scene. So if you guys can see, it's the AT logo, African Techno logo, that I had loaded into my database.
Okay.
Cool. And I'm going to create a child object. So I'll be creating a cube. And then let me just show you something. So I'll be testing the application. So I'll show you guys how Vuforia works.
Okay. Just a quick question, as in, like right now you just confused me. So you said a child object. What is a child object?
Okay.
And then
let me
AT logo.
Okay, cool. Let me just disable this. So so what I created was I created an image target. How I created that, I right-clicked on the hierarchy, the sample scene hierarchy, and I went to Vuforia engine and I selected image.
Okay.
And then that created the parent. And then I clicked on the parent and I right-clicked on it, and then I created a child object. So a child object basically inherits all the attributes of the parent. So that's how it becomes a child of.
Okay. Yeah, I think my question would be, what's the reason for it being a child? Yeah, so it's like, how different would the results be if I added the image through Unity instead of Vuforia? Okay, yeah, I think that's also a better question. Okay, so you've created this child, as in it's a 3D, it has to be a 3D object, or can it also be a 2D object? That's what I'm most curious about.
No, it can be a 2D object. It could be,
okay.
Yeah. It's just that for this demonstration, a 3D object would work best so that you'd be able to see it. So I was about to show you how you'd see a 3D object in real space.
Awesome. Okay, no stress.
Cool. So once you've created your child object, in this instance, it would be a cube, and then it would inherit all the attributes of the parent. So let me just run the application so you guys can see what I was talking about when I say AR applications, but also tracking. So the image that I used, or the logo that I used, so right here. So I don't know if you guys can see that this cube that I have is basically mimicking the behavior of the parent, which is the image target, which is the logo. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah. So literally what you're saying is that obviously this piece of paper is now mimicking a cube. So
Yes.
The cube can be any shape if anything.
Yes. Cool. Cool. Do you guys have any questions before I continue?
I think Lebogang had the question about how different would the results be if you added the image to Unity instead of Vuforia. I'm not too sure.
So it wouldn't. Okay, the image. The biggest difference is that it wouldn't be able to be recognized. So how Vuforia works? It works as a database of objects that you would load, and then allow it to recognize them. So that whole thing of the license and also the database, it's basically accessing this database, checking that do you have access to this database type of thing, and checking it with what's in the cloud. I don't know if you understand me. So if you had loaded it onto Unity, you just have the image natively, and then nowhere else. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It wouldn't be able to be recognized by the Vuforia engine. Just
okay. So to get an idea, Yeah, so before it acts like an ML. Yeah, that's what I'm also wondering as well. So would it be that it acts as like the machine learning or like a native asset for Vuforia?
So it uses yeah, it kind of like machine learning, but it's not machine learning, if you kind of get what I'm saying. So it's more like vision. So it compares the images.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
No, I think we're necessarily getting an idea,
Yeah,
but yeah, actually just the explanation as well.
sure. Cool. So let me continue. So for today's example, I actually wanted to show you guys, I'll be creating like a small little plane and then with a screen. So it'll kind of be mimicking like a drive-through, or not a drive-through, but like I don't know, drive-through cinema type of thing. So I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. So it'll just kind of show you uh the capabilities of Vuforia and some nice tricks that you could use it for. Cool. Let me start. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, it's
Sure.
so Unity, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Sure.
yeah, so we can
Cool.
see like a camera and like a cube. So yeah.
Cool. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be creating material. So what I did is I right-clicked and went under create and said material. So this material is going to be the color of our cube right here. So I'm going to drag my material into my cube, changing its color. And then I'm going to go into my scale tool, and I'm just going to flatten this out a bit so that it looks like a solid plane. Just zoom in a bit. Can you guys see? Sure. Hello? Are you guys still there? Cool.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
Okay,
we can see it.
cool.
We can see it.
And then I'm going to create two more objects. So the first one is going to be, it's a 3D object. It's called a quad. So what a quad is actually, it's a 3D object, but that only has one face. So what I mean by one face is that you could, yeah, it's only visible from one side. So let me just show you what I mean by one side. So if I flip it around, you can't see it, but on the one side you can see it. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Sure. And then I'm going to create a third object. So what I'm going to be using, I'm going to be adding a video player to the scene. And then our video player is going to allow us to play like a video on our quad. Sure. So what I need to do is I need to first create a material for our quad. So I'm going to go to texture renderer. So what that's going to do is it's going to mimic whatever texture is in front of it. So I'll explain as I go. So I'll show you what I mean by that. And then I'm going to create, let me just change the name of our quad to screen. And then I'm going to create another material for our video. So I'm going to select material for this video. And then I'm going to drag our render texture into our video. So the reason why I did that is that with video, it's not really a solid color. So it's a mesh of different colors, pictures, and so forth. So what the texture renderer does is that it mimics anything that is going through it or in front of it in this sense. If you guys understand me, say yes. If you guys are lost, stop me now.
Yeah, I'm still
A
lost.
little
You're lost.
bit. Yeah, I don't know what
Okay.
that means. Goes through it. If you can just clarify that
Okay,
for me.
so when I say goes through it, I mean like in the sense of whatever is put in front of it, so it mimics it, like it reflects it. It do you get what I'm saying? It projects it, if I'm using the right word.
So what I'm just trying to understand is that you're saying that you're adding this extra layer to
Mm-hmm.
copy what exactly is supposed to be shown in the video.
Yes.
So that, for instance, if this layer is not put on, then we will not see anything.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to understand. So I think probably you'll just have to show us as an actual visual representation, but I'm somewhat trying to keep track.
Okay, sure. Cool. Sure. Cool. Sure. So I need to add actually a video. So let me just look for a video that I could add to this. Cool. Just added a video. So I'm gonna select my video player. And then if you see on the video player, it gives you two options of source. It gives you video clip and URL. So if you select video clip, it gives you looking for a video on your machine, on your device. If you select URL, it gives you an option to put in a web address. So YouTube or Vimeo. So what I'll be doing, I'll be using a video that's here. So it's called AT Story, AT Hangout Story. Select that. And then you see over here when it says target texture. That's where this texture I was telling you about, the render texture comes in. Let me just adjust the scene. So I'm just gonna run it just to see if it works. Okay. Okay. Let me just see something. I think I've done something. Okay. This is why I didn't add my videos text. Sure. Cool. Let's see. Cool. There's my video. Can you guys see?
Yeah, I can see. So
Sure.
let's see, it's just that it's like tilted.
Yeah. So it's, as I said, it's supposed to be like a drive-through. I
Okay.
haven't, yeah. So you'd have your cars parked there and so forth, and then you'd be able to watch whatever you're watching.
Okay.
Sure. So that's the end of our little tutorial. So I don't know if you guys have any questions and stuff that maybe I went past really fast that you guys would like to go through.
Okay. I think probably for me it's just the use case. Where can I see like a business application? I'm just starting out with AR development, want to make a little bit of cash, as in what are the ideas that you actually have towards this?
Okay, so one of the use cases is in property development. So Vaforia with another company, Metaport, they actually do 3D mappings of buildings where you can actually interact with different sections of the building. So when I say interact, I mean uh, let's say you're in a factory, for example, and there's a valve or some sort that's there. If you're using Vaforia and the applicate as a use case application, you'd be able to open the application and it'll recognize the valve and tell you more about that valve and what it's used for and so forth. I don't know if that kind of answers your question. That's one. And then there's also with in marketing. So as we move to more of a metaverse universe where AR is everywhere, you could use it as a mapping solution for marketing for posters, for maps. Like currently, right now, in a lot of cars, they use AR for um, for maps and stuff like that. So I don't know if I'm answering you at all.
Yeah, you are. So I'm like thinking if maybe I had like a school event, I could actually have posters which are round and then possibly scanning the QR code and then being able to like have an AR experience of the poster itself.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, so exactly that. So one of the use cases, I think last year in the New York Journal, is that they had a traditional newspaper with all the different articles, but what they did is that they had the pictures of the articles um, augmented. So when you scanned the picture, it would start playing a video of what was happening in that specific moment. So a tornado, so you would see the reporter in that tornado and so forth. That's just one way.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm not too sure if there's anybody else who has questions, but yeah, I was just curious as in right now, even with devices, what devices can I actually use? Can I use like my iPhone, Android, like Samsung? What are the requirements for that?
So right now it's cross-platform. So it supports Android, iOS, and I'm not sure about Harman OS by Huawei, but it should also be supported. So in most cases, what you need to do is depending on which platform you're building for example, if you mentioned that you have an Apple device, so if I wanted to build for Apple devices, I would have to use an Apple machine or use a virtual machine or some sort to be able to render an Apple version of whatever application because Unity doesn't support I think cross-platform. It requires Xcode or something like that.
All right. Yeah, that sounds solid. As in, I do use Xcode, so I have to just see as to how I can import the Unity into that.
Yeah, if you go under the Unity, under the build, it actually gives you a step-by-step. So it'll show you how to integrate your Xcode onto Unity.
Thanks, man.
Sure.
I have a question. So now you've basically shown us you've shown us a basic tutorial
Yeah.
of what you can create in Vuforia as a beginner, obviously.
Mhm.
Is there some what can you actually do with it when you unleash the full possibilities of the tool? Like I don't know, in your experience, how can you really go hard with this tool?
Hmm. I think it's okay right now in South Africa. I think we can actually go hard with it in the sense of in marketing. Um, the reason why I say in marketing, I say that we still primarily still rely on traditional means of marketing. So when I say billboards, posters, and so forth, rather than, yes, we do use like the internet as like Facebook, YouTube, and so forth. But the primal means of advertising in South Africa is still traditional. So this gives another like life to that. So you could add like music, graphics, 3D objects to your posters and basically reuse them or even give them a longer lifespan, because what you'd just be doing is basically updating the database of images or 3D objects versus having to actually pull down the whole billboard and so forth. And it kind of makes it more of an experience with everyone, you know. So I think with in the world we live in with technology, we don't share enough experiences with other human beings. So I think AR allows you to do that.
Mm, mm. And do you think as a beginner, like what do you think it would take for me to get to that point where I can now like create like a digital billboard or like how do I as a beginner who's not
Start.
really sure with Euphoria or not really quite comfortable get to that level?
Sure, I think it's you've already taken the first step by actually being here. I think the other step you could take is actually going on to Unity and Vuforia because they have a lot of learning resources there which are available for free and a lot of tutorials, so which are quite easy to follow. You just need to dedicate some time and also be willing to kind of fail. And when I say fail, I mean make mistakes and not and admit that you don't know everything. And then so you can just begin to learn.
Okay, that's really cool. I'm excited to play around with this tool. Thank you. Thank you for your tutorial as well. It's been really awesome.
Sure, thank you. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your feedback.
Hey, just a quick one, Buzwe. If I get
Yes.
stuck, as in right now, don't have a mentor in AR, who exactly do I contact? Well, I presume you, but where do I actually get in contact with you if I actually do get stuck?
So yeah, so you can contact me on all social media. So I'm on Facebook at Buzwe, Instagram at Buzwe, at also on YouTube. I'm not YouTube, Twitter as Buzwe. So yeah, if you guys need any help there, but also we also have a group. It's called We Are VR Josie, which is a community group where a whole bunch of guys just like me who are also learning new to the thing, but also just gaining experience and also want to experience and grow the community. So there's also that. I'll drop a link to the group, and then you guys can join our WhatsApp group. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Sounds really cool.
Cool. So I'll be just dropping that. Cool. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for your questions. Sure.
Okay. Thank you, Buzwe.
Good.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you for some education, bro.
Sure. Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, I think we've got a question.
Oh, okay.
It's just in the chat window.
Well, I also have a question.
Oh,
Sure.
by
Are
the
we going to
way,
be getting this project?
Sorry, you're just
Are we
breaking
going to
it.
be getting this project?
Oh, do you want the project? I could send it to you guys. I have your emails.
Okay, I think that would be nice. At least if someone is battling with certain steps of how to do this, then they can always reference a ready-made project that, they can use it as an example.
Sure, I'll be sending that to you guys tomorrow through WeTransfer.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, and then also, what I'll do is also send the video so if you guys can follow along if maybe you guys got lost as well.
okay, cool. So I just wanted to send a shout out to Kamohelo and Lebohang. You guys have been like the most consistent